Grand jury declines to indict NYPD officer in Eric Garner chokehold death. What's going on, guys? Make Electric. It is Thursday, the 4th of December, 2014. I'm sure everybody already knows by now, the grand jury has decided not to indict the officer who murdered Eric Garner in New York by an illegal chokehold move, even though the entire incident was caught on tape. You know, unlike Michael Brown, we know exactly what happened to Eric Garner. Someone who was guilty of, at worst, an ordinance violation, selling individual cigarettes or some nonsense like this. He is now dead. Dead from an illegal chokehold move, and the grand jury fails to indict the officer. I only have to wonder if this grand jury was bought and paid for, or what the hell's going on. I cannot believe that they can get this one wrong. I think the message that was sent, though, was you either obey or you die. Is it nothing but sheeple on grand juries? Are any of the people on the grand juries awake to the bigger problem, bigger police state going on in America? I just wonder this stuff. And I also wonder how people cannot recognize history repeating. Go back and look at Nazi Germany and the kind of stuff that the Gestapo did. Compare it to what the modern day police are doing. Some people don't recognize this because history, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens over a period of hundreds of years. We were telling people 5-6 years ago the police state was coming. Now cops are killing people left and right. It's like people still can't see it. I'll put a link to the grand jury story from NBC Local out of New York. Also, does anyone remember the name Samantha Ramsey? Something else happened last month that I don't think anybody caught. I don't remember seeing it in the headlines at all. No charges for cop who killed 19-year-old preschool teacher as she drove away from party. This came out November 14, 2014. Samantha Ramsey was leaving a field party. An officer tried to get her to stop, tried to approach the driver's side of her car. She kept going. He then jumped on her hood, proceeded to shoot her, I don't know how many times. 19 years old, dead on the side of the road. For what? Police officer claims that she was trying to run him down. You can clearly see from the video he was approaching from the side. Therefore, she was not trying to run anyone down. I'll put a link to that story, though. Samantha Ramsey, you are not forgotten around here. Now, this Eric Garner thing, the Mike Brown thing, now we got Chief Kessler, Chief Mark Kessler, who come out months ago about how Kerry was going to sign the arms trade treaty at the UN. And I very much supported Chief Kessler's message when he made that video saying, Kerry, you can go screw yourself. I'll put a link to that video just to remind people. But check this out. A government plot against the Second Amendment supporters. Chief Kessler goes on Fox News Radio and admits that he is an agent and the whole thing was set up so that they can draw in extremists. Are you freaking kidding me? I have to admit, I was duped. I honestly thought there was a law enforcement member out there with some balls. But it turns out he's admitting he was in fact an agent, and they made a number of arrests of radicals and sovereign citizens and all this. Now, is he really an agent, or was he threatened by someone to say this? I wouldn't rule that out. Was he paid off? I'd really like people's views on that. I'll put a link to the story. Listen to his interview. It's 14 minutes long. Listen to the way he's talking. He didn't believe anything he said in those videos, is what he says in the interview. Therefore, I guess it's okay that the UN is going to regulate the Second Amendment. People might say, well, that's just arms trade and all this. The United Nations has no business interfering with the United States Constitution whatsoever. I'm very disappointed in you, Chief. I really am. I know a lot of us feel heartbroken when we got that news. I truly hope it's the case that he was threatened. At least then I could understand. I'll put a link to the story. I'll put a link to his video, which he took off of his channel a while back, but someone else did upload it. I still fully support that message. That make me an extremist? Because I love the Constitution? And I think the UN has no business meddling in it? Ironically enough, InfoWars comes out with this. UN cites Ferguson as need to disarm U.S. citizens. December 3rd. Go figure. Meanwhile, Obama's Ferguson response will leave assault rifles and vehicles of war on American streets. Yeah, no crap. That's why they've been training. Local police have been training with the military in metropolitan cities all over this nation. Make no mistake. We, so far, are not getting this one wrong. And that's a scary-ass thought. I'll put a link to that story. Exclusive. Called domestic terrorists by the feds. Oath keepers helped to stop Ferguson from burning. People were in my live feed a few nights back when not only we were listening to the National Guard on the ground in Ferguson, we were also listening to the police on the ground in Ferguson, went out over both radios that on the roof of a building nearby was members of the extremist group Oath Keepers. Did all of the law enforcement and military members working in Ferguson not take an oath to the Constitution? I'm just curious. Oath Keepers, extremists for trying to keep the peace? They have responded open letter to St. Louis Police Chief on oathkeepers.org. I'll put a link to that. Check out their response. I got a couple more links to give you. I want to send a shout out to the St. Louis Rams, even though I'm not a big football guy. St. Louis police officers upset over Rams players' hands up, don't shoot gesture before the game, demand apology. Well, you know, maybe Michael Brown was a thug. Maybe he wasn't. But the message that the Rams sent, putting their hands in the air, I have to support that message. And I hope people see the bigger picture of what's going on in this country. Put one link at the bottom. You know, Josie Outlaw did a video just over a year ago, When Resistance Becomes Duty. I'd like to give a shout out to her. Please pull that video up. 6 minutes long. Have a listen. Nothing but the truth. I'd love everybody's thoughts on Eric Garner. I'd love everybody's thoughts on Chief Kessler. Heartbroken I am. You really let us down, Chief. You really let us down. Please rate this video. Please pass it around. Please share the information. Make people aware. We are very fast moving in the direction of Nazi Germany. I can't believe more people can't see it. Hopefully with all these non-indictments, a few more people wake up. Hopefully. Until the next one, you guys take care. Stay safe. Always. I will see you on the next one.